What's up guys, it's Victoria from Under Victoria's Spell, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the books that I read in the last half of December. I picked up some really good Christmas novellas and I'm just still thinking about some of these books. So let's just hop right into the books that I read. Okay, so let's just start off with I've finished the end of the month reading 7 books, which is really good for me. I'm hoping in 2023 I can kind of just knock it up and read around 10 to 12 books a month. I would love that because there's so many books that I want to read. So I'm trying to pick up my reading speed just a little bit because my TBR list just keeps growing. But let's talk about the books in December. So the first one that I picked up in the second half of December is A Partridge and a Pregnancy by Willa Nash. I believe I gave this one 3 stars. It was really cute, just a normal novella. It was continuation from A Naughty Nice Nanny. This is following a different brother. And this is a surprise pregnancy because the 2 main characters had hooked up one night and it turns out that she got pregnant. So the whole story is deciding how they are going to have this baby because she just accepted a job in a different country. So the novella was good. It had that Christmas element to it. It had the urgency to it because, you know, she was leaving in a week. The only thing that really bothered me was I feel like their communication could have been 10 times better, but it was just constantly they were avoiding the topic that they were trying to have, which was their baby, and I felt like that was kind of annoying, and I wish that they would have just been adults and had the conversation instead of pretty much spending the whole novella with miscommunication. That really annoys me in romance books, but other than that, it was still really cute. I enjoy Willa Nash's writing, aka Devney Perry. I think she does a really good job. She's such an easy author to pick up. So I will definitely continue reading more Willa Nash books. And speaking of Willa Nash, the next book that I picked up was the last novella in their Christmas series, and it is 3 Bells, 2 Bows, and 1 Brother's Best Friend. This one was also really good. This followed the last brother, and it is a workplace romance, brother's best friend romance, and I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was very cute, very angsty. I gave it 3.5 stars. It did its purpose in a novella, and the steamy scenes were really good, so I liked it. I mean, it's not the best thing I've ever read. That's why I didn't get like a 4 or 5 stars, but for a Christmas novella, it was very, very good. And the next book that I'm going to talk about is 'Tis the Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth. This was on my top 10 favorite books of the year because this book was so good, and I don't even know what it was. It was just kind of like from the first page, I was just hooked. It is almost like a Legally Blonde retelling because our main heroine is obsessed with the color pink, and honestly, after reading this book, I really want some more pink stuff. I'm adding it to my favorite colors again because it was just so, like, I don't know, she just made me fall in love with the color all over again. But it follows our heroine as she's getting ready for a Halloween party. So this does start in October when the book starts out and goes all the way through Christmas. And she's going to a costume party for her boyfriend's job, but he ends up breaking up with her that night because he does not like her costume and doesn't think that she is fit for his lifestyle because he is a lawyer and he doesn't take her seriously. So her and her best friends decide to get revenge on him, and they're gonna do that by her going to his Christmas party, her ex-boyfriend's Christmas party, but with his boss. And already that hooked me. They met on a dating site, and pretty much from the moment that they met, they had this intense chemistry and sexual attention, and it was so good. Like, I ate it up. Also, Damien, he is like perfect. He treated her perfect. The way he spoke about her, the confidence he gave her, the love that he had for her was just absolutely beautiful. And he is such a good lawyer and he takes his cases very personally. I love the storyline that followed the case in this story. I thought it was beautiful, and I loved how he supported her career because she doesn't see it as something very serious, but the way he speaks about her is just so heartwarming. Loved it. The spicy scenes were top notch, and I just absolutely loved this story. 5 stars. Loved it. The next book I'm going to talk about is also another one that I loved. Let me get it. And that is A Court of Mist and Fury. 5 stars. I feel like I've already talked about this book in all my other videos, but this book I consumed. If I thought that I did not love Rhysand before, I am obsessed with him now. Oh my gosh. I love this. This picks up directly after book 1, and this follows Feyre after the aftermath of what ended in book 1, and she had pretty much had to make a deal with one of our other characters, and so now she's kind of living that bargain that she made out in the beginning of this book, and it is spicy. Let me just tell you, it was so good. I absolutely loved Feyre's growth that she had in this book, but also it was so heartbreaking to see her go through the grief and the anxiety of what had happened to her. But I enjoyed watching her go from that broken state to the strong heroine that she's always been. It was beautiful. Loved meeting some new characters in here, like Mor, Amren, Cassian, Azriel. It was just so fun to finally meet them. The Bat Boys, as they call it, it was awesome. Valaris, I want to go there. As you can see, I've started tabbing some of it. This story was just beautiful. Rhysand's love story to his heroine was absolutely breathtaking. Love this book. If you have not picked up the series, please do. It's so good. Absolutely loved it. Okay, so this next book that I'm going to talk about has been one that has been on the top of my TBR all year. It is such a beloved book, and I was like, I have to get to this before the end of 2022. And that's A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner. I gave this book 3 stars. Borderline 2.5. And that breaks my heart to say that because I know how loved this book is. And it is meant so much to so many people. And so I came in with such high expectations in the story. And it just did not live up for me. This follows our hero and our heroine as they go through high school, college, and beyond. It is pretty much right person, wrong time, and they're just constantly can never get together. And I normally love that angst. I really do. I love an angsty read. I love that, like, I want you, but I can't have you. Like, I do. But for me, I just didn't feel their connection because I felt like it was just so toxic. It reminded me a lot of the After series with Hardin and Tessa. Like, it reminded me so much of theirs. And I loved After when I was younger, but now, like, I can't stand the book series. For some reason, I always watch the movies. But it's like a train wreck you can't look away from. So, but anyway, I just was so disappointed. I felt like the miscommunication between them, like, they had been friends for so long that I felt like that they should have been able to have a conversation with each other and a lot of things could have been figured out. And I wasn't a fan of just how the story progressed. Like, it just bothered me. and they were just toxic, and I just don't think that they were the right couple for each other. I think that they could have gone in their respective relationships and moved on. I honestly did not get their connection as deeply as they were feeling in the book. I don't know if I missed something, but it just was not for me. So, and I really hate that. I really do. But I'm not going to give up on Kandi Steiner. This was my first book by her, and I still have other books I want to read by her. I want to read Blindside and Bear Catch, and then some more of her backlist, but I know those are also really popular books, and I want to give them a try. This one just wasn't right for me. So, my last two books I'm going to talk about, the next one is my only DNF for the month. I'm so proud of myself for not DNFing, but it was Tangled in Tinsel by Trudolini Puccini. I know I just butchered that. I am so sorry to the author. And this was one that I had put on my TBR, or like to be on the lookout, because it sounded like so interesting. It was, you know, forced proximity, because it's this girl locked in the cabin with 4 men because of a snowstorm on Christmas. And I was like, this is going to be a good smutty time. And well, I saw Caitlin from the Love Librarian DNF this and talked about how much she disliked it. And yeah, I was like, you know, I'm still going to give it a try. It's probably not that bad. No. I should have listened to Caitlin in her review, because this was bad. Like, what pretty much to what Caitlin had said, the writing was just so juvenile. It was pretty much like, if I tried to write a book, this would probably be what it was, because I just cannot piece things together. It just was horrible. It just started off instantly like the heroine wanting to have sex with all these men, and I'm like, can we get a little backstory before you start ready to jump their bones? And it was just a hot mess. So I still want to give this author another try, but this book was a flop for me. If you like this book, I'm so sorry. But this was not a smutty time. This was a bad time. So, but let's talk about the last book that I read in 2022, and it was so freaking good, and it's Christmas in Quincy by Devoney Perry. She's an author I really want to read in 2023, and I was like, Christmas time novella. It's the 0.5 before the Eden series. I was like, I'm picking it up. I'm so glad I did. I gave this book 3 stars. You know, for a novella, that's really good for me. And I just loved the introduction to Quincy, Montana, the Edens, the hotel. That was my favorite part of the story, because I know the Eden series, which I'm hoping to pick up in January, I was just so excited to be introduced to this world, and I really did like the connection between the two main characters. Our heroine has escaped to go to Quincy, Montana for the holidays, because she hates going home for Christmas because her dad is just so over the top. But little does she know, her dad has hired a private investigator security team to always be looking after his daughter, because he used to work in the government field, so he's just very anxious after things had happened to our main character's mom when she was younger. So he shows up, and the whole book is pretty much him trying to get her to go home, but she puts her foot down and just wants to enjoy a quiet Christmas. It was so good. They have a history together, and they finally just have their perfect night together, and all good in the world. This was a really cute novella, perfect for a prequel to the series. It was so good. End of the year, so great. So those are the 7 books that I picked up in the last half of December. I feel really good about ending my year with some good Christmas novellas and picking up another Sarah J. Maas book. So it was amazing. I'm so thankful for all the books that I read this year. I cannot wait to see what I read in 2023. Let me know what you read in the last half of December. I would love to know. And if you've read any of these books, let me know your thoughts on them. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you again on Monday. Bye.